Right, I think we're live. Hold on, let me turn this cool rock music off. Welcome to Office Hours. My name's Dusty Bates. I'm our host here. If you're not familiar with Office Hours, we every month, every other month, we'll blast this out to some other places other than our membership site. We have uh, a membership site that has over 50 hours of training. We have all of our tools and templates and resources that we use in our personal commercial brokerage, as well as weekly office hours, just like this. So every month or so, you guys get a taste of it outside of our group. Uh, the goal of this is to cover a little topic. Today, we're going to talk about the critical listing steps to start your, you know, commercial real estate career. When you start your first listing, when you finally secure that, what do you do then? I'm going to give you those first steps, kind of the first 7 days or so that we'd like to uh, kind of really ramp things up. But if you're not in our group, there's a little ticker down there at the bottom. Feel free to join us there. And today we're going to talk about how you can, what you need to do when you're first listing your property. Feel free to ask any questions at any time on any commercial topic. The whole point of this is just to kind of, we're not just sitting here in dead air time, waiting for someone to come in and ask questions. So if you have a question, whether it's on topic or off topic, whether it's now or after the fact, feel free to ask it. Let's see here. All right, so first thing you're going to ask is, how do I actually get listings, right? So let's just start there. Very simply, you're going to build a database. Okay, these are people that you have spoken to, that you know in the property that you want to list. You got a real number for them. Hopefully you have an email for them. And then once you've built that database, and as you're building that database, you're providing value to that database. You're staying top of mind by providing real value to that database. Okay. And eventually you're going to do what's called a two-part listing presentation. You're going to, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like, I think here. Yeah. So here's what that looks like. Basically, you're going to, there's meeting one and meeting two. Meeting one, whether that's a meeting or not, you're going to hand them or give them the deliverable. Okay. This could be a rent survey or, a listing down the road that they might be interested in. You're going to meet with them and you're going to get them that deliverable. You're also going to secure the books and records from them. That's the main goal of meeting one. You want their profit and losses. And whether or not you get the listing, you can add that to your database. You've now got more information for your database about that property. Very important. The whole point of that is so that when we get the books of records, we can put together our BOV, and then we can set meeting number 2 at meeting 1, right? So if we're going to get the books and records, we're going to say, great, what are you doing next Tuesday? I'll have something for you then. Boom, meeting 2. Meeting 2, you deliver the BOV, and you try and get the listing. And that's really it, okay? Look here. That's really it. That's, that's the whole thing. That's what we do. But now, once you get that listing, what do you do? Okay, so let's switch over here. I can show you. Hopefully you can see that. Might want to maximize if you can't. But this is kind of the first 7 days of what you might want to do for an example checklist, right? So first you get the listing agreement uploaded to the CRM. You're going to upload all the data to the CRM. And then you're going to start your marketing process. Okay, so this might be day 1, right? Day 1 or day 2, you're going to start to analyze things. You're going to start to put together all the marketing pieces. You're going to start to put everything onto the websites like CoStar and LoopNet, Property Line. You got Brevitas. You've got Crexi, stuff like that. Okay, there's a couple different places you want to go. And then you're going to want all of these in one place in your CRM. Okay, so the CRM is going to house your property, and all of the files pertaining to that's going to be in there. Once that's done, you're going to start your kind of your physical mailing process or your marketing process. We've created these on day 1. Now, day 3 to 6, we're starting to send these out. We're going to send out the flyer, available now. to the email addresses. We're going to do the postcard list. We're going to pull that. We're going to pull the mail list, and we're going to get the database of targeted owners that are really close in that we can send the intro letter to. We're also going to do calls, right? So depending on the timing or the time available for the agent, we're going to do calls in a kind of a targeted area around the property. And then from there on, we're doing social media. So we're just blasting it out on our different social media sites. And that would be the first 7 days there. So if you want this file, if you're in the schools, it's in the tools and resources. If you want this file and you're not in the schools, feel free to sign up and pull all of our stuff, download it, and then quit immediately if you like, or stick around and take some of the classes. Look here, see if I have any questions yet. I do not. All right. So just to kind of put an analogy together, it's like being a restaurant server. If you've ever been a restaurant server, I was when I was in college. When you have a table, it's busiest at the beginning and at the end. So you've got the listing, you're scrambling with all the stuff I just showed you the first 7 days, you're getting things up and running, getting the marketing together, doing your calls. And then it's kind of slow, right? You're fielding calls from buyers, you're vetting them, maybe you're starting to get offers. And then at the end, that's when you've got the escrow process and you're kind of guiding things into a close. So just so you're aware, and probably similar in residential, the busiest time is at the beginning and at the end. Now you're going to get, when you get a listing, leads are absolutely gold. Don't just take the call and then throw them away. Don't forget about them. Add every single one of those to your CRM with the notes on what they want. And then as you get new listings, you can blast, that's what you're blasting out to, right? And then if you have any hot leads, make sure you track them and you put them on the drip campaign appropriate to that. So you might be calling them every quarter or every other month. And then also your clients aren't going to ask you about the listing. You need to be proactive and communicate with them ahead of time. You need to constantly be keeping them up to date, and they're not going to ask you about it, but they're going to really appreciate that. And if you're not doing that, that's going to probably start to hurt the relationship. So make sure you're staying ahead of things and being overly communicative with them. And outside of that, I would say do the 12-week challenge. This is a very simple way to build your database. Just have a goal of adding 5 new properties every business day to your warm database. You've got a warm database and a cold database. The warm database are the people you've spoken to that, like I said, they own the property. You've got a real phone number for them. Hope you have an email for them. And the cold database is the people you haven't spoken to and you don't know if it's a real number. Okay. So, however many calls it takes, add 5 of those people to your warm database and make sure you're, like I said, you're maintaining that database. And over time, you're going to get that 2 listing presentation. And then make sure you do that first 7 days, really hit the ground running, get all the marketing together, make sure you're doing what you need to do to, and what that's going to do is that's not just going to sell the property faster. It's going to get you tons of leads and prospective new buyer or listings. Okay. And over the 12 weeks, you should try and get at least 2 new listings from that. All right. And that's all I have for you today. Let me see here. I don't have any questions yet. Like I said, it's about 10, 15 minutes when we do a little training like this weekly. Sometimes there's questions, sometimes there's not. Let's see, I got 10:10 my time. I'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll shut her down for next week. If you are not a member, we do this every single week. I do a different training every single week. We have over 50 hours of classes on all kinds of stuff in commercial real estate at the schools. We've got all of our tools and resources and templates that we've used in our brokerage available. And it's a really good, cheap way to start getting into commercial real estate if you're not already in it. So I highly recommend checking it out. I'm going to get a cup of coffee and be right back. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, guys, I don't see any questions here. Suppose we'll wait until next week. If you have any questions, let us know. If you want to join us, go ahead and join us at straighttalkacademy.com, and we'll see you there. In the meantime, if you're watching this after the fact and you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments and we'll answer them wherever they're at on the social medias here. And we'll see you next week.